Okay. Now, under Karnataka Land Reforms Act 1961, there is a question on discuss classification of land. Okay, so different types of lands are classified in different groups. So what are the classification of land under Karnataka Land Reforms Act 1961? Okay, so we will see this. There is A, B, C, and D class of land. Okay, so Karnataka Land Reforms Act 1961, it was enacted with an objective to consolidate and make uniform laws relating to purchase and holding of agricultural land, conferment of ownership on tenants, vesting of occupancy rights, and sealing on land holding of agricultural land in the state of Karnataka. So this is basically relating to the agricultural land. Related to that, we have land reforms. Like we need to make reforms. It should not happen that one person, like how it used to happen earlier times, one person will be holding big area of land and other people will occupy it like a tenant and they will cultivate, right? All the hard work they are doing, but this person simply he will be earning more profit as compared to these people who are doing the agricultural activities, right? So in order to bring reforms in those practices or in those systems, we have this legislation. It also talks about ceiling on land holdings, how much a person can hold. There also limits are being imposed. Okay, and a lot of other matters are also specified under this legislation in order to bring land reforms related to agricultural land in the state of Karnataka. Schedule 1 of the Act provides for classification of land. Now, what are schedules in a legislation? What do you think schedules are?
Parts. Different parts.
Parts as in?
I don't know, ma'am.
What are sections or articles in a legislation?
For a certain law, certain numbers are given as sections.
Yes. So one section will specify one provision ideally. Right? And then group of
schedule
sections.
consists of many sections.
Yes. One legislation will consist of many sections, and ideally one section would talk about one certain provision. And in a legislation, you will see group of sections which are called as chapters or different parts. Like if you remember Constitution of India, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, like that we had. And one part had multiple articles, like Fundamental Rights part 3. Then there are multiple articles providing for it. Like that, legislation is arranged. Right? So some of the legislations, not all, okay, some of the legislations also has something called as schedule. What is schedule? Schedule will be there after end of the legislation, like all the sections, everything is given. At end, some schedules will be mentioned. Schedule is like an additional or extra information. Okay. Even without reading the schedule, you will be able to understand provisions of the legislation. But if you read the schedule, you would get better or clear idea. Okay. Like if you see CPC, there might be schedules talking about different forms that you need to submit before the court. Different procedural things would be mentioned. If you talk about Constitution of India, schedule will provide for list of states and union territories that are there in India. Even though you do not know names of all the states, all the union territories, plus their boundaries, even then you will understand Constitution. But if you refer the schedule, you would get a better and clearer idea. Right? Same ways, under this legislation also we have a schedule, that is Schedule 1, which provides for classification of lands. So it talks about different classification of lands and the grounds for those classification. Okay, so according to Schedule 1, the government has to issue a notification specifying the nature of irrigation facilities from government canals and from government tanks in respect of all lands for the purpose of classification. Now, this entire classification of lands that we see, it is based on irrigation facilities available from the part of government, from the side of government, irrigation facilities are available or not, what sort of irrigation facility is available. Based on that, we are classifying lands, because we are talking about agricultural land, and irrigation facilities is like a major criteria in order to classify lands. So government will have to provide information, like might be new areas they are providing irrigation facilities, some areas might be it is not available. So they need to provide information on what sort of irrigation facilities are available in which area, and based on that, lands will be classified. Agricultural land in the state of Karnataka will be classified. Okay, is it clear till here?
Clear, ma'am.
It is proposed to remove the necessity of issuance of notification by the government. Opportunity is taken to make some other consequential and minor amendments. Hence this bill. Lands are classified into 4 categories based on this classification. So this legislation under Schedule 1, it provides for 4 different classification of land, and it is all based on irrigation facilities that are available in that area from the side of government. So A class would represent like better irrigation facilities, whereas D class would represent not proper facility, having no proper facilities. So first of all, we have A class land. Lands having facilities for assured irrigation from such government canals and government tanks are capable of supplying water for growing 2 crops of paddy or 1 crop of sugarcane in a year. So this is the classification of land wherein we are having irrigation facilities from government canals and government tanks. So in such situations, because irrigation facilities are proper, we will classify it as A class land. Then we have B class land. Lands having facilities for assured irrigation from such government canals and government tanks as are capable of supplying water for growing only 1 crop of paddy in a year. This is 2 crops of paddy or 1 crop of sugarcane in a year, but this is slightly lesser, 1 crop of paddy in a year. Lands irrigated by such lift irrigation projects constructed and maintained by state government and as are capable of supplying water for growing 2 crops of paddy or 1 crop of sugarcane in a year. So these are some projects constructed and maintained by state government. As such, directly not coming from government, but these are maintained by state government, those sort of projects. If those sort of projects are supplying water for growing 2 crops of paddy or 1 crop of sugarcane in a year, just like this one, then also we will classify it as B class, because it's not directly from government, but it is from some project which is constructed and maintained by state government. Okay, so class 1 we have, then we have B class. Then we have C class of land. Lands irrigated from any government sources of irrigation, including lift irrigation projects constructed and maintained by government, other than those coming under A or B class. Whatever is not coming under A or B class, those would be coming under C class. Lands on which paddy crop can be raised or areca crop is grown with the help of rainwater. So rainwater is available with the help of that you are growing it, not like irrigation facility is available. Lands irrigated by lifting water from a river or government canal or government tank where the pumping installation or other devices for lifting water is provided and maintained by the landowner. So you have some facilities, not like manually you need to bring water, might be some pumping installation is there which is maintained by the landowner. Lands having facilities for irrigation from a government source where the system of water supply is suitable for growing only light irrigated crops, namely crops other than paddy and sugarcane, shall come under this class. Wherein we do not need a lot of water, those would also come under this C class land only. Land having facilities for irrigation from government source. From government side, you are getting irrigation facilities, but it is not enough for this paddy or sugarcane, but it is suitable for some light irrigated crops. In such cases, we will call it as C classification. Under C classification, it would fall. Lands growing irrigated garden crops will come under class A, B, or C, as the case may be, depending upon source of irrigation and system of water supply. So this entire classification is based on source of irrigation and system of water supply. Is it like a device is being set up for pumping installation by the landlord, or is it coming from the government side? What sort of facilities available? Is it available for growing sugar cane, or for growing something wherein irrigation facilities are properly needed, like paddy, or is it some other things? Based on that, we will have the classification. Okay, then there is D class land. Lands classified as dry but not having any irrigation facility from the government source. Lands growing paddy or garden crops not coming under A, B, C class shall be classified under D class. So from government side, no irrigation facility is available, and also it is classified as a dry land wherein no facility is available. But even after that, if somebody is growing something with the help of manual work, manual labor, we will bring it under D class of land. Okay, because it's not coming under A, B, or C. Is it clear? 4 classifications.
Ma'am, can you repeat C class? I got a call in between the class.
Okay, fine. So A class, from government side, proper facilities being provided in order to grow 2 crops of paddy and 1 crop of sugarcane in a year. B class, it may be 1 crop of paddy in a year, or might be some project which is constructed and maintained by state government. They are able to grow 2 crops of paddy and 1 crop of sugarcane in a year. C class of land, lands irrigated by government sources of irrigation, including lift irrigation projects constructed and maintained by government other than those coming under A and B class. So whatever is not coming under A and B class, those will come under C class of land. Okay, lands irrigated by government source of irrigation. It may be lift in irrigation projects which is constructed and maintained by the government. So it might be coming under government sources also. It might be coming from some projects which is constructed and maintained by government also, but it does not fall under A and B class, so that would come under C class. Lands on which paddy crop can be raised or erica crop is grown with the help of rainwater. So it's not coming from government source of water or from any irrigation project constructed or maintained by government, but with the help of rainwater, they are able to grow paddy crop or erica crop. In such cases also it would fall under C class of land, because rainwater supply is enough. Lands irrigated by lifting water from a river or government canal or government tank. Okay, it is not supplied from the government side, but water is lifted from river, government canal or government tank. And how it is lifted? It is lifted with the help of pumping installation or other devices which is provided and maintained by the landowner. These installation devices are also, pumping installation is also not provided from government side, but the landowner is providing for it. And with the help of that device, they are able to lift water from some river, government canal, government tank, etc. Then it would fall under C class of land. Land having facilities for irrigation from a government source, where the system of water supply is suitable for growing only light irrigated crop. We are getting facilities from government side, we are getting facilities, but it is not enough to grow paddy crop or sugar cane, but it is suitable for light irrigated crops. In such situations also, we will say it falls under C classification of land. Okay, then lands growing irrigated garden crops will come under classes A, B, or C, as the case may be, depending upon source of irrigation and system of water supply. So from where water is coming, what is the source of water supply, depending on that we need to classify whether it falls under A, B, or C classification. And D will be something which is considered as dry, and from government sources they are not getting any sort of facilities as such. Okay, is it clear?
Clear, ma'am.
So 4 classifications we have under Schedule 1 of Karnataka Land Reforms Act.